Hello, my name is Eugene. This will be my oral report for my psychology assignment. The title of what I am presenting today is Physical Punishment and Childhood Aggression, Role of Gender and Gene Environment into Play. This research is done by Brian B. Bodwell, Courtney A. Franklin, J.C. Barnes, and Kelvin M. Beaver. Firstly, let me introduce the researchers in this research. We have Dr. Brian B. Bodwell. He has a PhD in criminology from Florida State University. He also earned his master's degree in criminology and a bachelor's in criminology and psychology. He is an assistant professor in Sam Houston State University. His area of focus is in behavioral genetics and how both environmental and genetic factors influence antisocial behaviors. The next one we have Dr. Courtney Franklin. She has a PhD in criminal justice from Washington State University. She also earned her master in criminal justice and bachelor in political science. Her areas of expertise are gender and justice, violence against women, institutional or community correction, women inmates and offenders, custodial healthcare, and prison violence and fears of crime. Next, we have J.C. Barnes. J.C. Barnes has a PhD in criminology and criminal justice. He also earned his master's in criminology and criminal justice and also a bachelor in criminology and criminal justice. He is a biosocial criminologist whose research seeks to understand how genetics and environmental factors combine to impact criminological phenomena. Moving on, we have Kelvin Beaver. He has a PhD in criminal justice. He is a professor in the College of Criminology and Criminal Justice at Florida State University. His research interests are biosocial criminology, life course or developmental criminology, and many more. The reason I picked this research paper out of the three is because I think that this research is the most relevant to my topic, because this research shows that there are more than one factors affecting child's behavior development than just punishments. And that will conclude to the introduction of the researchers. So, let's begin. In the research, the researchers suggest that there are additional variables may play the role in moderating the link between corporal punishment and later life behavior development of a child. Thus, the aim of this research is to study and find out that corporal punishment and verbal discipline are not the only factors that cause negative behaviors problem in children. The researchers suggest that the factors such as gender, genetics, and environment play a role in causing children to have behavioral problems. So, how does the researchers carry out this experiment? What measures did the researchers take to accomplish this experiment? Well, the researchers gathered 10,700 children along with their biological parents and caregivers. There are 5,450 male children and 5,250 female children. All of the children are born in the year of 2001 and they are born in United States. The researchers focuses on the interplay between genetic and environment factors in the prediction of numerous human outcomes. They stated that certain genes may be contingent on exposure to various environmental pathogens. It is possible that children who possess a genetic vulnerability for the development of antisocial behavior may be disproportionately susceptible to adverse environmental experience. the researchers have two goals to accomplish. Firstly, is that they will examine whether the use of corporal punishment during the first 5 years of the child's life moderates a genetic predisposition for antisocial behavior. Then, they will test whether spanking moderates genetic influence similarly for males as compared to females. To make them possible, the researchers gathered data from Early Childhood Longitudinal Studies (ECLS). ECLS is a study that examines child development. The aim of this ECLS-B, Early Childhood Longitudinal Studies (BABY), was to gather a range of information concerning various aspects of child development. The sample include 4 years of the child life, and the tasks are divided into 3 waves. During each wave, the researchers rely on multiple reporting sources including child's biological parents and their caregivers. During wave 1, data was collected from the survey participants. Children were approximately 9 months old during that time. Information collected at wave 1 concerns about the children's development status, motor skill development, language abilities, and behavior regulations. Carry on to wave 2. During wave 2, child's caregiver once again completed a personal interview and a self-report questionnaire. In the same time, the children were assessed on a range of outcomes, such as parent-child attachment, cognitive development, physical health and well-being, and behavioral regulations. And finally, wave 3. Children were approximately 4 years old during wave 3. Parents were asked about specific behavioral indicators for their child, such as aggressiveness, impulse control, and social capabilities. In the meantime, parents were also asked questions related to home environment, relationship status, and parenting practice employed to their child. So, in order to gather data accurately, the researchers used some ways to collect different data. In order to create a measure of genetic risk, the first step was to randomly select one child from within each twin pair to be designated as the target twin. The target twin sibling was then assigned the designation of Codwin. Next, the Codwin score on the antisocial behavior scale was transformed into a dichotomous variable. As for maternal depression, prior research has suggested that exposure to maternal depression increased the risk of developing antisocial behavior in childhood. Therefore, in order to take account of findings concerning the depression-antisocial behavior link, the researchers included a modified version of the Center of Epidemiologic Studies Depression Scale (CESD), collected during Wave 3 of ECLS-B. This CESD has been used by researchers to measure depressive symptoms and has shown a valid method of assessing depressive symptoms among the general population. Moving on to family adversity. Exposure to adverse family environment is a risk of factors for development of a chronic and severe antisocial behavior in children. As a result, researchers include a measure of family adversity in this analysis. During the first wave of data collection, mothers in the studies were asked a series of questions in order to measure how often they argued with their spouse over a number of topics. And finally, child gender. To explore potential gender differences in this study, as well as to avoid any potential problems with confounding owing to difference between the sexes. The researchers controlled the gender of the child. The child's gender was measured using information from the birth certificates and was coded that 0 equals to female and 1 equals to male. As you can see from the diagram, Model 1 provides evidence that both genetic risk and corporal punishment influence behavioral problems, and in Model 2 shows that the effects of genetic risk on behavioral problem were moderated by the use of corporal punishment. The diagram shows that both corporal punishment and genetic risk exerted significant main effects on the behavioral problem scales. Children who are exposed to increased use of corporal punishment exhibit increased behavioral problems, even after controlling for the influence of genetic factors. Therefore, children who are exposed to higher level of family adversity increase maternal depression, and those who with lower levels of self-control also tend to show more behavioral problems. In the next diagram, Model 3 indicates that the genetic risk scale failed to significantly predict female antisocial behavior, and in Model 4, it reviews the findings for the test of G times E, genetics times environment, in the female subsample. As shown in the diagram, interaction between genetic risk and corporal punishment failed to reach statistical significance for female. So in conclusion, researchers conclude that children who are exposed to corporal punishment and verbal punishment are likely to have behavioral problems along with other factors such as genetic risk, environment, and gender. Therefore, as the level of genetic risk increased, the effect of corporal punishment on antisocial behavior increased too. The result shows that male with highest level of genetic risk and the greatest exposure to corporal punishment exhibit more antisocial behavior than male children with other combination of these two factors. Genetic factors condition the influence of spanking differently for males than for females. So, in the future, if you ever think of you want to spank your child, you may want to reconsider it again. And that will conclude to my presentation. Thank you.